Heilongjiang is a province of the People's Republic of China located in the northeastern part of the country. Heilongjiang literally means Black Dragon River, which is the Chinese name for the Amur. The one-character abbreviation is. The Manchu name of the region is Sahaliyan Ula, from which the name of Sakhalin is derived, and the Mongolian name with the same meaning is Qaramörin. Heilongjiang borders Jilin in the south and Inner Mongolia to the west. It also borders Russia to the north and east. The Amur River marks the border between the People's Republic of China and Russia to the north. Heilongjiang contains China's northernmost point and easternmost point. History. Ancient Chinese records and other sources state that Heilongjiang was inhabited by people such as the Baiya, the Mohe, and the Khitan. Mongolic Donghu people lived in Inner Mongolia and the western part of Heilongjiang. Some names are Manchu or Mongolian. The eastern portion of Heilongjiang was ruled by the Kingdom of Bala between the 7th century and 10th century. The Jurchengian dynasty that subsequently ruled much of North China arose within the borders of modern Heilongjiang. Heilongjiang as an administrative entity was created in 1683, during the Kangxi era of the Manchu Qing dynasty, for the northwestern part of the Jilin province. This Heilongjiang province only included the western part of today's Heilongjiang province, and was under the supervision of the General of Heilongjiang, whose power extended, according to the Treaty of Nerchinsk, as far north as the Stanovoy Mountains. The eastern part of what's today Heilongjiang remained under the supervision of the General of Jilin, whose power reached the Sea of Japan. These areas deep in Manchuria were closed off to Han Chinese migration. The original seat of the military governor of Heilongjiang, as established in 1683, was in Heilongjiang City, located on the Amur River. However, already in 1690 the seat of the governor was transferred to Nanjiang on the Nen River, and, in 1699, further south to Qiqihar. According to modern historians, the moves may have been driven by supply considerations. Nanjiang and Qiqihar are connected by a convenient waterway with southern Manchuria, whereas accessing Aegon would require either sailing all the way down the Sungari River until its confluence with the Amur and then up the Amur to higher, or using a portage over the Lesizingar Mountains between the Nen River Valley and the Amur Valley. An additional advantage of Qiqihar may have been its location at the junction of a northbound road and a westbound one, enabling its garrison to defend both against the Russians and the Olet Mongols. Little King military presence existed north of Aegon, according to the 18th and early 20th European sources, and the reports of the Russians in the 1850s. The farthest King advance guard post was at Heilongjiang, near the Amur River's famous S-shaped meander. In 1858 and 1860 the Qing government was forced to give up all land beyond the Amur and Ushuri rivers to the Russian Empire, cutting off the Qing Empire from the Sea of Japan and giving Heilongjiang its present northern and eastern borders. At the same time, Manchuria was open to Han Chinese migration by the Qing government. By the early 20th century, due to the Changguandong, the Han Chinese had become the dominant ethnic group in the region. In 1931, Japanese forces invaded Heilongjiang. In 1932, the Japanese completed the conquest of the province, which became part of the Japanese puppet state of Manchukuo. In 1945, Japanese forces in Manchuria were defeated by the Soviet Army. During the Chinese Civil War, Soviet forces aided the Chinese Communists. Heilongjiang became the first province to be completely controlled by the Communists and Harbin, the first major city to be controlled by them. At the beginning of Communist rule, Heilongjiang included only the western portion of the present-day province, and had its capital at Qiqihar. The remaining area was the province of Songjiang. Its capital was Harbin. In 1954, these two provinces were merged into present-day Heilongjiang. During the Cultural Revolution, Heilongjiang was also expanded to include Ulaanbaatar League and some other areas previously in Inner Mongolia. This has since mostly been reversed. Geography. Heilongjiang is a land of varied topography. Much of the province is dominated by mountain ranges such as the Greater Khingan Range and Lesser Khingan Range, Zhangguangai Mountains, Laoyu Mountains, and Wanda Mountains. The highest peak is Mount Datodingzi at 1,690 meters, located on the border with Jilin Province. The Greater Khingan Range contains China's largest remaining virgin forest and is an important area for China's forestry industry. The east and southwest of the province, which are relatively flat and low in altitude, contain the Muling River, the Naoli River, the Songhua River, the Nen River, and the Muden River, all tributaries of the Amur, while the northern border forms part of the Amur Valley. Zinkai Lake is found on the border with Russia's Primorsky Krai. A humid continental climate predominates in the province, though areas in the far north are subarctic. Winters are long and bitter, with an average of -31 to -15 degrees Celsius in January, and summers are short and warm to very warm with an average of 18 to 23 degrees Celsius in July. The annual average rainfall is 400 to 700 millimeters, concentrated heavily in summer. Clear weather is prevalent throughout the year, and in the spring, the Songyun Plain and the Sanpingjiang Plain provide abundant sources of wind energy. The province's largest cities include Harbin, Qiqihar, Mudanjiang, Jiamusa, Daking, Jixi, Shuangyashan, Hegang, Qitaiha, Yichun, and Haier. Transport. A road and highway proposal was accepted in 2006. The project plans to develop 38,000 kilometers of new roads and expand Heilongjiang's total road network to 2.3 million kilometers. There are 60 rail lines of around 5,300 kilometers, including a section of the Asia-Europe Continental Bridge. The Harbin-Dalian high-speed railway, completed in 2012, stretches from Harbin, Heilongjiang's capital, to Dalian in Liaoning Province via Changchun and Shenyang, comprising 23 stops. It is expected to transport 37 million passengers per year by 2020 and 51 million by 2030. Major airports include Harbin Taiping International Airport, Qiqihar Airport, Mudanjiang Airport, Jiamusa Airport, and Haier Airport. Harbin International Airport is capable of handling 6 million passengers every year and connects to over 70 domestic and international cities. Administrative divisions. Heilongjiang is divided into 13 prefecture-level divisions, 12 prefecture-level cities and 1 prefecture. The 13 prefecture-level divisions of Heilongjiang are subdivided into 128 county-level divisions. Those are in turn divided into 1,284 township-level divisions. Politics. List of secretaries of the CPC Heilongjiang Committee: Zhang Qilong, Zhao Dezun, Feng Jixin, Wu Yangqin, Han Fusheng, Wang Jiadao, Lu Guangtao, Zhang Yichen, Li Lian, Sun Weiban, Yu Qifeng, Zhu Yufang, Song Feitang, Qian Yanlu, Ji Bingshan, Wang Xiangkui. List of governors: Yu Yefu, Zhao Dezun, Chen Lei, Han Guang, Wu Yangqin, Li Fanwu, Pan Fusheng, Wang Jiadao, Lu Guangtao, Zhang Yichen, Chen Lei, Hu Ji, Xiao Qihui, Ti Yun Fengshan, Song Feitang, Zhang Zuoji, Li Zhanxiu, Wang Xiangkui, Lu Hao. Economy. The agriculture of Heilongjiang, heavily defined by its cold climate, is based upon crops such as soybeans, maize, wheat and potatoes. Commercial crops grown include beets, flax, and sunflowers. Heilongjiang is also an important source of lumber for China. Pine, especially the Korean pine and larch, are the most important forms of lumber produced in Heilongjiang. Forests are mostly to be found in the Dakingan Mountains and Shaoqingan Mountains, which are also home to protected animal species such as the Siberian tiger, the red-crowned crane, and the lynx. Herding in Heilongjiang is centered upon horses and cattle. The province has the largest number of milk cows and the highest production of milk among all the province-level divisions of China. Petroleum is of great importance in Heilongjiang, and Daking oil fields are an important source of petroleum for China. Coal, gold, and graphite are other important minerals to be found in Heilongjiang. Heilongjiang also has great potential for wind power, with an average wind energy density of 200 watts per square meter. Heilongjiang is part of northeast China, the country's traditional industrial base. Industry is focused upon coal, petroleum, lumber, machinery, and food. Due to its location, Heilongjiang is also an important gateway for trade with Russia. Since a wave of privatization led to the closure of uncompetitive factories in the 1990s, Manchuria has suffered from stagnation. As a result, the government has started the Revitalize Northeast China campaign to deal with this problem, promoting the private sectors as the preferred method of economic reform. At least 5 miners were killed after a coal mine fire in Heilongjiang. It was reported on September 21, 2008. Its GDP has been rising steadily since 2003, growing 37% from 2003 to 2007. The value of the private economy reached RMB 234 billion in 2006 and accounted for 37.6% of the GDP. In that year, the tax revenue from private enterprises hit RMB 20.5 billion. Private enterprises in Heilongjiang led the overall economic growth of the province. Many leading private enterprises have begun to emerge. The province's 3 major private enterprises, namely the Heilongjiang Sunflower Medicine Limited, Kitai Hyedax and Colco, and Heilongjiang Yiyan Group, each contributed more than RMB 100 million in tax revenue in 2007. During the first decade of the century, many private investors were involved in large construction projects in Heilongjiang. In 2006, 928 large projects absorbed private capital of RMB 5 million each, and 101 projects attracted RMB 100 million each within the province. In line with the central government's policy to revitalize the Northeast, Heilongjiang also restructured its 6-pillar industries, namely equipment manufacturing, petrochemicals, food processing, energy, pharmaceuticals, and forest and timber processing. In 2013, Heilongjiang's nominal GDP was 260.87 billion Chinese yuan, with an annual growth rate of 12.2%. Its per capita GDP was 21,640 yuan. Its primary, secondary, and tertiary industries were worth 108.9 billion yuan, 436.6 billion yuan, and 285.5 billion yuan respectively. The per capita disposable income of urban residents in Heilongjiang reached 11,581 yuan, a rise of 13% from the previous year. The per capita net income of rural residents in the province reached 4,856 yuan, a rise of 17.5% from 2007. Economic and Technological Development Zones: Daking New and AMP High-Tech Industrial Development Zone. Daking New and AMP High-Tech Industrial Development Zone was constructed in April 1992 and was then approved as a national high-tech zone by the State Council later that year. Its initial zone area is 208.54 square kilometers, and it recently expanded the area by 32.45 square kilometers. Higher Border Economic Cooperation Area, Harbin Economic and Technological Development Zone, Harbin New and AMP High-Tech Industrial Development Zone. Harbin High-Tech Zone was set up in 1988 and was approved by the State Council as a National Development Zone in 1991. It has a total area of 34 square kilometers. In the centralized parks, subdivided into Nangang, Haiping Road and Yingbing Road centralized parks, the Nangang Centralized Park is designated for the incubation of high-tech projects and research and development base of enterprises as well as tertiary industries such as finance, insurance, services, catering, tourism, culture, recreation and entertainment, where the headquarters of major well-known companies and the branches in Harbin are located. The Haiping Road Centralized Park is a comprehensive, industrial basis for the investment projects of automobile and automobile parts manufacturing, medicines, foodstuffs, electronics, textile. The Yingbing Road Centralized Park is mainly for high-tech incubation projects, high-tech industrial development. Sino-Russia Dongning-Puertovka Trade Zone. Sino-Russia Dongning-Puertovka Trade Zone was approved by the State Council in 2000 and was completed in 2005. The zone has a planned area of 275.4 hectare. The Chinese part of the zone has a 22-hectare trade center with 4 subsidiary area A, B, C, D, in which more than 6,000 stalls are already set up, mainly dealing with clothes, household appliances, food, construction materials, etc. Suofanhi Border Economic Cooperation Area. Suofanhi Border Economic Cooperation District is located in the north of Suofanhi City and borders Russia to the east. Suofanhi BECD is the largest among the 3 state-level border trade zones of Heilongjiang in terms of investor numbers. Suofanhi BECD has a convenient transport network. The Binzhou-Suofanhi Railway, which connects the Russian Far East Railway, is an important port for export. The railway distance between Suofanhi and Harbin is 548 kilometers. Baguranikanai, the corresponding Russian port city, is 21 kilometers away. Demographics. The majority of Heilongjiang's population is Han Chinese, while other ethnic minorities include the Manchus, Koreans, Mongols, Hui, Dor, Xibe, Orokan, Hezhen and Russians. Excludes members of the People's Liberation Army in active service. Source: Department of Population, Social, Science and Technology Statistics of the National Bureau of Statistics of China and Department of Economic Development of the State Ethnic Affairs Commission of China. Eds. Tabulation on Nationalities of 2000 Population Census of China. 2 vols. Beijing, Nationalities Publishing House, 2003. Religion. Most of Heilongjiang's residents are either non-religious or practice Chinese folk religions, including Taoism. Manchu shamanism is practiced by many Manchu people. Chinese Buddhism and Tibetan Buddhism have an important presence in the province. Culture. Heilongjiang's culture is part of a culture of northeast China that is relatively homogeneous across this region, known in Mandarin Chinese as Dongbei. Media. Heilongjiang Television and Harbin Economy Radio serve as broadcasters. Tourism. Harbin, the provincial capital, is a city of contrasts, with Chinese, Russian, and eclectic worldwide influence is clearly apparent. Buki Mosque, a National Heritage Site, is the largest glazed tile building in the province. Eastern Orthodox, Roman Catholic, and Protestant churches as well as synagogues dot the city. The long, cold winter is the backdrop for its famed ice sculpture exhibitions. In 2007 already, the 8th Ice and Snow World opened to visitors in Harbin. More than 2,000 ice sculptures were on display at the annual event. Wood alien chi legs are a series of 5 legs formed between 1719 and 1721 when volcanic eruption shaped one section of a tributary of the Amur into 5 interconnected lakes. The second lake in particular is renowned for its irregular geological sites. Lake Jingbo in Ning'er County is a section of the Muden River that has been narrowed and shaped by volcanic eruption into a series of sites, including the Diarosulao Falls. Colleges and universities: Northeast Forestry University, Harbin Institute of Technology, Harbin Engineering University, Northeast Agricultural University, Harbin University of Science and Technology, Heilongjiang University, Heilongjiang Institute of Technology, Harbin Medical University, Daking Staff and Workers University, Northeast Petroleum University, Heilongjiang University of Traditional Chinese Medicine, Heilongjiang Commercial University, Harbin Normal University, Heilongjiang August 1st Land Reclamation University, Qiqihua University. Sports: Asia League Ice Hockey, 2009 Winter Universiade.